The scale of Amazon means that if you have the right products, you can really start pushing your business onto the next level to being a full-time business for you. Now, one of our new handmade products has started making nearly £5,000 a month. And if I compare this to the £500 to £1,000 a month it was doing on Etsy, then I think it's time for me to put more of my focus into Amazon Handmade. In this video, I go into the techniques I use to launch this product on Amazon Handmade and how you can use them to launch your own products or improve your own products on Amazon. So let's get cracking. Hey team, my name is Teddy, and in these videos I talk about how you can build a handmade business and some of the techniques that I use to grow my business to turn it into a full-time business so that I could quit my job and have more fun working for myself. Now if you think that sounds like it would help you out, then click subscribe as I post videos about handmade business every single week. Amazon is an amazing opportunity for handmade makers because there is a lot less competition for handmade products than there are on Etsy. Now I'm not saying that Amazon Handmade isn't competitive, I'm not saying that at all, but you have much less competition for handmade products than you do on Etsy. Now this is pretty good for you as it means that you can stand out from the crowd. For me, it's a much better investment of my time to concentrate on Amazon than it is to put more time into my own website or on Etsy. The reason being is scale. Amazon has so many more customers and such a high conversion rate than any other site that it means you can make much more sales much faster. There are some risks with being on one platform, of course, and I think if you have the time and the money, you should be on multiple platforms. Etsy, your own website, even not on the high street. But when starting out or trying to scale, Amazon is the best place to be, in my opinion, of course. Now, one of the main things that you need to get right with Amazon is launching your product in the right way to make more sales. And now here are my top 3 tips for either launching your products or improving your products that you already have in order to make them make more sales. The first thing that we need to do is understand the Amazon algorithm and how it works and why it's important. You know, the most important factor for getting more sales is to improve what's called your organic rank. Now, the organic rank is where you appear in the searches for a particular keyword. A keyword is another term for a search term. If you have a look at an Amazon page like this one here for the search term gold vase, you can see that there is this product that has the little word sponsored underneath it. Now, this means that the owner of this product has paid for it to appear at the top of this search. And we'll come into how this works in a little bit. But basically, if you imagine that Amazon is a massive search engine, just like Google, and when a customer searches for something, Amazon wants to show that customer relevant results to that search. And in order to do that, they have what is called relevancy. Now, relevancy in Google's terms is like how, what is the customer looking for and how can I show them some interesting information? But relevant in Amazon's terms is how can we make a sale? Like Amazon's always trying to sell stuff. Now that might obviously sound quite obvious to you, but Amazon is always trying to sell stuff. So what Amazon does is they want to show products to the customer in order of how likely it is that they're going to make a purchase. So in this example of gold vase, the products that's number 1 is the products that Amazon thinks you are most likely to purchase, given that you've searched for the keyword gold vase. Now Amazon ranks all the products for each keyword from like 1 to however many hundreds it could be. And the products at number 1 is the products that Amazon thinks we're most likely to buy. And number 2 is the second most likely, and it goes on and on and on like that. Now, the reason this is important is because we want to appear in these searches as well. And the way that you appear in your searches is essentially by your performance and your keywords. And Amazon does it like this. If you remember what I said before, Amazon's always trying to make sales. Well, if a customer searches for gold vase and then they buy your product, Amazon kind of puts a link between the search and the purchase, because now they know that when customers search for gold vase, they buy your product. Now that means that the next time someone searches gold vase, they're more likely to push your product higher up the rankings in order for it to appear in front of the customer, because they know that customers buy your gold vase when people search for the keyword gold vase. But it isn't just sales that are an important factor for improving your organic rank. It's also how engaged customers are with your products. Engagement is things like the click-through rates, the conversion, the relevancy, it could be how many people add it to the cart. There's some other things that Amazon tracks, but they track all of this stuff to try and get an idea of how your product performs and how likely it is that a customer is going to buy something when they come onto your page. And the more engaged, the better, as Amazon will show more products to the customer that are more likely to sell. In the notes, I have a little cheat sheet which explains all of the little jargony terms like click-through rate, conversion, and other things like that, to help you to understand what they mean, and we'll go through how each of them can affect your launch or improving your sales. But sales is the main factor, and to make more sales, this might sound a bit obvious, but to make more sales, having a good product is the main thing. The easiest way to get customers to engage with your products is to have a good product in the first place. So make sure your product looks good in the photos so that customers can see that quality. You know, really lovely photos, especially in the main image. A great title is like a hook for your customers. In exactly the same way as you saw the title for this video, the title for your product is what's going to get people to go onto your listing. And you need to describe your product and what it does. On top of that, you need to make sure you have great product descriptions that sell the benefits of your product. Don't just talk about the features of your product, describe everything about it. You know, how you made it, what makes it better than the competition's, why is it handmade, and what is special about the method you use. What benefits will the customers get from buying it? You know, you could think about things like how it will make them feel. Will it make them smile? Will it make them stressed? You know, will it make them feel organized? All of these sorts of feelings are the things that you need to get across in your description. If you aren't comfortable writing things like this about your products, you could also use a service like Fiverr for writing your listing for you, and you can hire very affordable listing writers who are experts at writing listings. This also saves you some time for working on your business, and I've put a link in the description to Fiverr, but if you send me a message down below or on Instagram or something like that, then I'll let you know a few listing writers that I've worked with before who I think are really good. Another thing you need to think about is competitive pricing. Now, Amazon always wants to give their customers good value, so you need to make sure that your pricing is competitive. I'm not saying that you want to make your products really cheap or you want to cut corners when you're making your products, but you should always be thinking about what your competitors are selling their products for. You know, can you compete with them? I go into pricing in way more detail in the video just above me now, but you want to make sure that you're making money, but you also need to make sure that you make sales. So it's kind of a balancing act between your profit margin and how many sales are you going to make. Amazon can be competitive. You know, it's a marketplace, it can be competitive. So you do need to make sure that you aren't way more expensive than the competition. This is particularly important during the launch. With Amazon, momentum is really, really important, and the aim is to make sales really quickly right at the beginning. The reason for this is to get some sales history, to improve your organic rank. You also want to get reviews, as the more reviews you get, the more you can start to increase your price. Plus, the more reviews you have, your click-through rate will increase, and it will increase quite a lot because you've built up quite a lot of customer trust. This will improve your rank, it will improve your click-through rates, which will keep improving your rank. So think about how these things could affect your products. And remember, I have a cheat sheet which you can download, which is in the show notes, which explains everything we've just talked about and how it affects the ranking, and it goes through all the jargon so you can understand everything that I've just been talking about. Another really important factor is your images and your title. So we've already been looking into the algorithm and how it works and how you can improve your organic rank and why that is so important. And it's basically how you get found is a combination of your keywords and your performance. But how you get clicks, which improves your performance, is to make your photo, your main photo especially, and your title really engaging and high quality. Like, have a look at some categories that your products are in and see what other photos are like. You know, it doesn't have to be a handmade category, because remember, you aren't just competing with handmade products. Have a look at some products and check out how they've taken their photos, especially the main photo. You know, what's the lighting like? You want to keep it bright so that you can see what the product is. Use a good camera if you can, because it makes a massive difference. But even if you have a decent phone, you could just use that. You know, also in the picture, have they included the packaging? This could be a good way to show that your product is luxury or giftable. You know, if your product is giftable, this could be a huge benefit because people spend more money on presents or gifts than they do on themselves. You're not allowed to include props in your main image, and it should make sure it's on a white background. So that's quite important because Amazon do take that quite seriously. But you could consider using a model if it is completely relevant to what you're doing. Say, for example, you're making clothes or jewelry. You should also look at how the titles are structured on your competitors' listings. Because remember, the title is the first thing that people read, so you need to make it really, really good. Describe the product and what it does, and get your customers to click on your listing by using the words they use to describe your product. So getting into the customer's mindset here is really important. On top of this, the first 5 words of your title are really important because not only are these the first few words that people read, but they're also the words that get indexed for like Google searches, which can help you appear in more Google searches. You can see what I mean here in this picture. You can see that the first 5 words of the title are in the URL. Now, all of these things are going to help improve your click-through rate loads and loads and loads, like especially the main image and the title. This is going to really improve people getting onto your listing in the first place. And once the people are on your listing, you need to convert the browsers into buyers. And a really important way of doing this is with your pictures. I've got a video all about taking good product photos for your handmade listing, which I've posted a link to in the notes for this video. But you do need to make sure your photos are good because they are one of the best ways to increase your conversion rate. Good photos can sell your products for you, so it's really important that you take a bit of time to make these good. You should include images of the size, definitely, so people can see how big your products are. Like you could do this either by putting some little size arrows on the picture, or maybe you could have a picture of someone holding it in their hands so that they can get an idea of what the scale is like. You could also include some infographics here, like these ones that I've got on the screen now. Now these infographics are great because they show customers some important details about your products, like the materials or how it's made. It's also really good to include some lifestyle photos, including models if you can, because this will help your customers to visualize themselves owning the product. And a lot of customers make their decisions using the photos alone, so it's really important to give the customer as much information as possible to make sure that you get that conversion. One way you can improve your images really easily is to use a tool like Canva. Like Canva is absolutely amazing, and I can't believe it's free. It's so easy to make a really nice infographic that represents your brand, but also sells your products to your customer. If you aren't comfortable using Canva, you could also get someone to make your pictures for you using something like Fiverr. And if you want some recommendations for that, just get in touch and let me know. And the third point is ads. Now, I know this is a bit of a controversial topic, especially with handmade sellers, because I know a lot of you guys aren't keen to use ads, but you can use them to your advantage. You don't just need to be giving money to Amazon. In fact, what you should be doing is using ads to boost your rank. So think about this and how you shop on Amazon. How will people find you if you're on page 3 or 4? They won't really, or at least very rarely. And by the time they do find you, they will have been past tons of your competitors. So this is how ads work and how I use them to get some rank for Amazon. Now at first, when you're on Amazon, you won't be appearing for any of the keywords that you want to appear for because you haven't got any sales history, so Amazon don't know that your product sells. And if you go back to the beginning, remember, Amazon's always trying to sell stuff and they want to show products with sales history to the customers because they know that those ones are going to sell. So what you can do with ads is you can bid for particular keywords, like say in my previous example for gold vase, you could bid for the keyword gold vase, and that means that you can start appearing at the top of the search, like that sponsored one I showed you before was. Now when you do this, customers can click on your product and then purchase the product. And when a customer makes a purchase, even if it's a paid purchase, Amazon puts that little link between the search and the purchase and gives you a little bit of SEO juice, which means the next time someone searches for that exact keyword, then Amazon's more likely to push you higher up the rankings. Now, so this is quite important because as we've talked about, we need to appear in the rankings, otherwise we're not going to get in front of any customers. So you do need to do a bit of ads, especially during the launch, or if you're trying to revamp your products. So get your ads to work for you rather than just giving money to Amazon. Choose your keywords really carefully to make sure the ones you're paying for are the ones that you really want to rank for. So how you can put this all together, it's essentially about making sure your listings are professional. And with tools like Canva, Fiverr, Helium 10, all the technology, even in your mobile phones, there's no excuses for making a poor listing that don't convert. Secondly, also make sure you're using the ads to your advantage. Don't just chuck money at Amazon. Make sure you do your keyword research first and make sure you're bidding for those keywords. And if you use all these tips, you can launch your products like I did and start making some pretty serious money. So if you'd like some more information about these tips, check out the cheat sheet in the show notes where I go through everything I've talked about today, including explaining all the jargon, plus some of the launch strategies I use. And I would recommend you watching this video next, where I talk about how you can make really, really excellent images that sell your products for you. I really hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you in the next one.